Magandang umaga po. The joint hearing of the Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee on proposed Senate Resolution numbers 826 and 1114 is hereby called to order. Okay, I have with me here present Senator Antonio Trillanes. May I call on Director General Attorney Kimbo to acknowledge the resource persons and witnesses present in today's hearing. Attorney Kimbo, please.
Your Honor, may I proceed? Present today are Secretary Virgilio Delos Reyes of the Department of Agrarian Reform, Attorney Darlene Marie Berberabe, President and Chief Executive Officer of Pag-ibig, and from COA, Director Joseph Anacay, who is assigned with the BSP, and Ms. Resurrección Cueta, from the COA also but assigned in Pag-ibig. And we have former Vice Mayor Mr. Ernesto Mercado, Engineer Mario Echanova, former Department Head in the City Government of Makati, Attorney Renato Bondal, and Mr. Nicolas Ching Enciso the Sixth. And from Alpha Land, J. Sangalang, and representing Mr. Roberto Ongpin, Attorney Rodolfo Ponferrada, and Mr. Gilberto Garcia from Noble Care. Correct? Yes.
The personalities appearing for the first time before the committee. Attorney, andito rin. Abogado, even the counsel of Mr. Delphin Lee, please, for the record.
Counsels of Mr. Delphin Lee is their attorneys Willie Rivera, see here, and Ronnie Garay. Attorneys Garay and Attorney...
Are you making a presentation, Attorney Garay? No. Is Attorney Rivera here? Can we call him now to join us and then... Sige, those who are appearing for the first time, can we ask Director General Kimbo to administer the oath to these personalities? Thank you.
Those who are here for the first time, kindly stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Thank you. You may take your seat. Director Anacay. First time? Ano?
Yes.
Si Resurrección Cueta. Miss Cueta. I think she... Mr. Thank you. Mr. Cueta, are you appearing for the first time? Kindly raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Thank you. You may take your seat.
Okay, just a gentle reminder to everyone. We are jointly hearing two proposed Senate resolutions, so don't be surprised and don't be confused if we jump from 826, which is a different subject matter, and we jump to 1114, which is a different subject matter. So we will take advantage first of the presence of our DAR Secretary, Virgilio de los Reyes, who is here. We will listen to what he has to report to this subcommittee, and then if there are no more questions to be directed at the Secretary, we will allow him to go. Okay, okay, Senator Trillanes. Okay, Secretary de los Reyes, please.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Your Honors. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There are 6 barangays involved in this particular inquiry which you ask your department to investigate. There are a total of 349 agrarian reform beneficiaries in the 6 barangays. I'm referring to the 6 barangays, Your Honor, because it's the universe of the area which is around the Sunchamp property. Of the 349, your department interviewed 91, and 91 persons appeared. 111 appeared through their representative. 147 agrarian reform beneficiaries failed to attend the ocular investigation. We visited 107 land holdings. Of these totals, Your Honors, 70 ARBs covering 70 land holdings stated that they had sold their properties, but they did not give us any copies of the documents which would signify that they actually sold this. 6 of them signified that they had leased the property. Your department went to the Register of Deeds, and we found out that there is no registration of any sale whatsoever, and the CLOAs that were given in these 6 barangays are all active and are current on file with the Register of Deeds. Which means, Your Honors, that of the 349, we are continuing the investigation, but for those who have said that they have sold the property and they are not in possession anymore, the next step for the department, particularly the provincial office, would be to file cancellation cases against agrarian reform beneficiaries who have abandoned their land, or if they had sold the land, they had not sought the clearance of the Department of Agrarian Reform. So cancellation cases will be filed against the ARBs who have abandoned or sold the land without the permission of the department. The current rules, Your Honor, states that even if the land has been given to the agrarian reform beneficiaries beyond 10 years, they will still need to require clearance from the department, and they will have to continue to cultivate it. Of course, there are also some situations which is subject to proof given by these beneficiaries. If the reason why they had abandoned or sold the land or transferred the land are for justifiable reasons, and the justifiable reasons, Your Honors, are normally in cases of succession. And this is something that they will have to prove. But in the process of the investigation, they did not give any documents. Now, focusing on the properties which are within the boundaries of Sunchamp, we found 17 CLOAs within the properties of Sunchamp, and we plotted the technical descriptions of the CLOAs which are on file with the department and overlaid this with the map of the cadastral map of the areas, particularly the 6 barangays. These are the names of the people whose properties are found within the Sunchamp, are the Comia family, the Dueñas family, the Baloloys, and the Desfi families. We also required them to come forward. Only Mr. Comia came, and then later on his lawyer came, and then this is the subject of an investigation right now. What we found out is that in particular the case of Dueñas, this was originally a 15-hectare property, and prior to coverage by CARP, 5 hectares of these 15 hectares more or less was sold to AgriFortuna Incorporated, and therefore the only one that was covered under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program was 10 hectares. So before we even covered the land, that had already been sold. And the 10 hectares was transferred again by way of voluntary land transfer to members of the Dueñas family, and this particular property is the ones within Sunchamp. So there are 2 cases that we're really looking at. The cancellation cases refers to the cause of action arising from abandonment or sales without permission from the Department of Agrarian Reform. The second one that we're looking at is within the Sunchamp property are properties which have been transformed into non-agricultural uses, for which there is a possibility of premature conversion or illegal conversion. What we are doing right now, Your Honors, is that we're coordinating with the provincial prosecutor, because this case will be filed before the Provincial Prosecution Office of Batangas, after which a case for illegal or premature conversion is going to be filed. We are not going to wait. We have given them chances to come before us. There is another hearing, I think, on April 24 and 30. And the subject of the hearing will be furnished to the councils, because right now many of these ARBs are appearing through councils. And after that hearing, then we will file the appropriate cases before the Department of Justice or before my office if the provincial officer deems it proper to do so.
Senator Trillanes.
Secretary Delos Reyes, you mentioned about these CLOA recipients who are being investigated. Can you furnish us the names of these recipients, particularly those whose properties are within the boundaries of the Hacienda Binay Secretary Delos Reyes, please.
Yes, sir. We can furnish you copies of those who appear within the SunChamp. With the names of the others within the 6 barangays is a public record, and we will also furnish you these names.
Okay. We would appreciate that at ang plano po natin dyan, papatawag po natin itong mga taong ito at hindi pwede yung mga abogado ang harap. At malalaman natin kung sino talaga ang bumili sa kanila nung kanilang mga lupa. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
We shall, Your Honor.
Secretary, you said that the remedy of the government is the cancellation of the CLOA.
Yes, sir. Because they have been abandoned or sold
Yes,
without.
because as far as we are concerned, when we check the RD, Register of Deeds, the CLOAs are still active, sabi mo. So what if in fact a CLOA has been sold, in fact, but not transferred? So can the buyer object to the cancellation of the CLOA?
Because if there is no record that he has actually bought it, then he would have no personality to contest it. Now, the situation that may arise is that there was an actual sale, but they did not register it. Then he will have to enter his appearance and say why the CLOA should not be cancelled.
Anyway, at any rate, if they sleep on their, let us say, on their remedy, allow the cancellation, what will now happen to the land?
Well, that would mean, Your Honors, that the land will revert back to the Republic of the Philippines. The strange thing in these 6 barangays, Your Honors, is that these are all by way of voluntary land transfer. Unlike a compulsory acquisition, the usual case in CARP, in compulsory acquisition, is landowner's title gets transferred to the Republic of the Philippines, then it gets transferred to the Agayan Reform beneficiary. In the case of a voluntary land transfer, it is landowner direct to the beneficiary. So that if we cancel that CLOA, that particular title should go now to the Republic of the Philippines, just following a compulsory acquisition. The other unique thing, Your Honors, about Rosario, Batangas, and practically all the entire eastern Batangas, is that there are very few large land holdings in eastern Batangas, unlike in the other part of Batangas where I come from, which is western Batangas. So the mode of transfer in eastern Batangas is mostly by way of voluntary land transfer. And that is why, for the information of the committee, Your Honors, as a rule now in the department, we are validating all voluntary land transfers, not only in eastern Batangas, but also in other parts of the country to determine whether the beneficiaries are in fact the real beneficiaries who should have gotten this particular land holdings.
What sudden realization did you arrive at, Secretary? There's a loophole in a voluntary land transfer?
Well, if you recall, Your Honors, in 2009, when this August body passed the CARPER, they restricted the availment already of the voluntary land transfer, precisely because there were many situations where the voluntary land transfer actually went to the heirs of the original landowner. So this gap was closed in 2009. But what we have also found in many situations, for those that have been distributed, is that this is precisely what happened. There is no problem when there are no tenants or workers in a particular parcel of land. But in some situations, there is a tenant, there is a farm worker, and by way of the voluntary land transfer, these were transferred to the heirs of the original owner. And that is what we are trying to determine now and plug and possibly remedy. And we will go back to this August body owner for whatever possibilities there can be.
Because in a voluntary land transfer, who paid the original owner for his land?
The beneficiary owner, it was a direct payment.
Direct payment from the...
From the beneficiary himself or herself.
Okay, so in effect, naiwasan lang ang transfer ng lupa sa intended beneficiary under the law.
Yes, sir. Kung may tenant po o worker, hindi siya nabigyan, At ang natipid ho ng original owner ay yung estate tax, transfer tax, doc stamps.
Okay, Secretary Delos Reyes, thank you very much for your report. But we will await your future reports on the same subject matter. Please.
We shall furnish this August body a copy of our report and the names of these people that were already investigated.
Thank you, sir. Your excuse,
Thank you, sir.
Secretary. Thank you. Thank you for attending our hearing. Trillanes. May I call on Director General Attorney Kimbo to acknowledge the resource persons and witnesses present in today's hearing. Attorney Kimbo, please.
Your Honor, may I proceed? Present today are Secretary Virgilio de los Reyes of the Department of Agrarian Reform, Attorney Darlene Marie Berberabe, President and Chief Executive Lang, and representing Mr. Roberto Ongpin, Attorney Rodolfo Ponferrada, and Mr. Gilberto Garcia from Noble Care. Correct? Yes.
The personalities appearing for the first time before the committee. Attorney, andito rin. Abogado, even the counsel of Mr. Delphin Lee, please, for the record.
Counsels of Mr. Delphin Lee.
Magandang umaga po. The joint hearing of the Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee on Proposed Senate Resolution numbers 826 and 1114 is hereby called to order. Okay, I have with me here present Senator Antonio,
Executive Officer of Pag-ibig, and from COA, Director Joseph Anacay, who is assigned with the BSP, and Ms. Resurrección Cueta, from the COA also but assigned in Pag-ibig. And we have former Vice Mayor Mr. Ernesto Mercado, Engineer Mario Echanova, former department head in the city government of Makati, Attorney Renato Bondal, and Mr. Nicolas Ching Enciso the Sixth. And from Alpha Land, Jay Sangali is their attorneys Willie Rivera, she here, and Ronnie Garay, attorneys Garay and attorney.
are you making a presentation, Attorney Garay? No. Is si Attorney Rivera here? Can we call him now to join us and then? Sige, those who are appearing for the first time, can we ask Director General Kimbo to administer the oath to these personalities? Thank you.
Those are here for the first time, kindly